Hello there everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to use a telephone line butt set, or sometimes known as test sets. So, to hook these up, it's not as simple as just plugging in a standard modular plug, because a lot of telephone butt sets are required to use these to plug in to a telephone line. You need to plug in to either bare wires, 66 blocks, or just any kind of bare plug that these can clamp onto and that will connect to the telephone line. The way how I hook this up is through a spare surface jack that I had lying around, and so I can clamp on the wires to these little metal prongs here. You can see these things right there. Clamp them onto that. So basically, you mainly need the green wire and the red wire to use this. Now just remember, red. The red alligator clip plugs into this, where the red wire is feeding. So plug it in there. And the black alligator clip, if I can get this to go just right. Hold on a second. So with the red alligator clip connected to the ring wire, you need to have the black one connected to the green tip wire. And just clamp it down just like that. So now you're connected to the wires, and now in this case we need to connect it to the line. So now I'll go ahead and plug this in. This is a normal modular plug that telephones today use. They've been using this for over like 5 decades. Now that the butt set is connected to an active line, you can now listen in on the line and hear what is happening. If your system is newer, you might have to manually go into monitor mode, but since mine is older, monitor mode is already enabled. So put the phone close to your ear. The stuff that you want to hear on a phone line that is not off hook is either a high-pitched squeal, a 60 Hz buzzing noise, or just faint static. In this case, on my line, it's faint static. You probably can't hear it when I put it close to the camera, it's so quiet. But then again, it varies between the phone lines that you connect to. Now, try and use a dedicated button to go off hook. In this case, this is a switch right here. Flip that. As you can hear, we have dial tone. Because we have gone off hook, and we told the network to provide us dial tone. Now I will go back on hook. You heard the dial tone for a split second, and then it just cut off. That's because it's waiting for us to either pulse, flash, or if it thinks we've hung up long enough, it'll disconnect us. So now we are not holding down the line, which means that it thinks that we are still on hook, which we are. While you're in monitor mode on these butt sets, whenever another phone on the same phone line is answered, you will hear that phone pick up the line. And if you can also hear, my voice is coming through on the speaker of the test set. So now I will go off hook on the butt set. And if you can hear, with the feedback freak show, the microphone has kicked on. Now we disconnect.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized.
You can still hear it.
Please try again.
Alright, so Now we can also dial a number just like any ordinary telephone. For example, I am going to try and dial that number that plays a permanent signal announcement. So just like a normal telephone, we go off hook, and then we dial our number. You get the idea. Now I will dial the last digit.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
And we have successfully placed a call.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
So now we are back on hook. So if we go off hook again, we will get dial tone. Now I am only connected to a phone line where only this system is connected. So now we are going to call the phone line, and some of these butt sets, at least the newer ones, will have ringers inside them. Other times, just like this one, it's old enough to where it doesn't have a ringer, which honestly, it's kind of interesting, and I'm fascinated by it because the reason why is because since this does not have a ringer and we're automatically monitoring the line, we can hear what is happening on the line while it's ringing. So basically what we can do, we can listen to the ring voltage come through, which is basically the power that is used to trigger a phone ringing. And then after that, we will hear the caller ID transmission data come through. And then we can hear another blast of the ring signal. So let's go ahead and give this line a ring, and I will show you what I'm talking about. The caller ID sound kind of sounds like a car tire screeching. So you'll be able to hear that. Here we go. If you're able to hear, you could hear the ring cycle, which is going about 20 hertz per second. And then you hear the caller ID data and another ring. I'll do it one more time and then we'll answer. That is the ring voltage right there. Okay, so now we've answered the call. And basically what we can do, we can actually talk just like a normal standard telephone. We can hear and we can speak. The reason why this sounds a little muffled and distorted is because this has a carbon microphone. Now we can disconnect. And that's pretty much the basics of using a telephone butt set. So, in order to disconnect it, if optional, go ahead and disconnect the plug from the telephone line, and then carefully remove the clips from the wires or the 66 block. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, everybody. Take care.